commence our session. All right, thank you. Let's enjoy the session ahead.
Oluwaseun Awodiji is an exceptional educator with over 14 years experience which spans both teaching and middle management positions. She holds a master's degree in education from the University of Nottingham and a BSc Ed Mathematics from the University of Lagos. She has a vast knowledge of teaching maths in the primary and has grown herself into an outstanding teacher of other core subjects, English and science. Oluwaseun is a lifelong learner who is always seeking for new ways to improve herself and in turn the lives of the children she teaches. She sets high expectations for her pupils and believes that all children do their work. She is currently transitioning to project management and is a certified project manager with a PMP certification. She is also a member of the PMI Nigeria chapter for the Social Good Initiative Educators Program. As part of her contributions toward, she volunteers with EduAid, facilitates access to quality education for public primary schools. She's also the founder of Green Obsidian Educational Services, an education consulting organization dedicated towards improving education in Nigeria. Green Obsidian currently which are geared towards improving teacher pedagogy, and she has facilitated numerous professional development trainings for teachers and was recognized for Education and Academics Limited for her contributions towards teacher development in Nigeria. She was nominated as Teacher of the Year by the ArcLights Foundation for Education in 2018 and was also interviewed at the largest gathering of teachers in Lagos, the Lagos Teachers Conference, where she spoke about how she built her competence over. Let's make welcome Oluwaseun Awodiji as she leads the session on effective project management.
To have you in this workshop this evening. Over to you right now.
Thank you very much. It's so good to be here. Thank you for the honor. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, we can.
Thank you. So this is going to be a very interactive session. Once a teacher, always a teacher, still a teacher, by the way. So I'm going to make it as interactive as possible. So please feel free to comment in the chat and raise your hand. If need be, I will allow you to speak. Okay, so let me see if I can share. Fantastic. Share, 1 sec. So start right away. Okay. Trying to get my slide open. All right. Please comment if you can see my screen. I believe you can. It shows me that I'm already sharing.
Yes.
All right. All right. Thank you. Okay, great. So like I said, it's going to be a very interactive session. So let's get right into it. So we're going to look at a few things. Our objectives for today, for this evening, are to define what project management is, to see how project management can be used in education, and also to find out the benefits of project management in education. Now, I would crave your indulgence. If you have a second device, please put it to good use because we're going to be doing a lot of activities. So the first activity, if you don't have a second device, it's fine. You can always go away from your Zoom and go into the app that I want you to go to. So the first place I want you to go to is somewhere called Mentimeter. Like I said, this is an interactive session. Mentimeter. So just type mentimeter.com. Let me put that in the chat for you. Mentimeter.com. Just type that into your chat and I will share that screen right away. share now. There, just say yes in the chat. Once you type Mentimeter.com, I'll show you my pin and you can get in. So this is just our starter and our opening, just to get to know everyone, you know, and just to break the ice like we usually do in your class. We would always start with, you know, something for the kids. So the question that you're going to be answering for me says, where are you from and what level do you teach? So once you've typed mentimeter.com in your browser, type in the code that you can see at the top of my screen, 55341657. And just type in your answer and we would all see it and we'll all read through and get to know where, well, I don't know where everyone is from, even though I can see it, but I would like to know. What do you teach? What level do you teach? Yes, mentimeter.com. Thank you, thank you. Where are you from? What level do you teach? Has anyone been able to type in their answer? Please type it on mentimeter.com if you can. And it should stay here for us. Is anybody on Mentimeter? Please say type yes in the chat. The idea is to have us see everything at a go on our screen.
Yes. I think maybe we just
yeah, if we get one, it's fine. It's just also to show you. Thank you. So this is also to show you what you can do with your students, actually. So it's fine. If you can't get to it, it's okay. But I can see someone, I'm joining from Cameroon and I teach secondary school. Thank you. So the idea is to be able to see everything like a general overview. Do you understand? So it's something you can also learn. I'm from Imo State and I teach in primary school. Thank you. Please add your name, as many as we can get, and we'll move on. I know we're sticking to time. So yeah, I also stick to time. Okay, some people are typing in the chats. Teachers, follow instructions. All right.
So there's a link that you can click on that will take us directly to Mentimeter. That has the HTTPS. So let's click on that and it will take us directly to Mentimeter website. Then also note the digits that is on the top of our screen.
Thank you. Gulu from Uganda, teach primary 1, thank you. Richard from Ekiti teaches primary and secondary. Someone from Kaduna teaches junior secondary. Ogun State, I teach primary 3, thank you so much. This is just to give me an idea of, do you understand? Instead of going through the charts, it gives me an idea to see it at a go. So that's the idea of Mentimeter. Sometimes you want to get answers from your students, you know, and you don't want to keep asking one by one. I'm from Lagos, Nigeria. I teach ICT and history for junior and secondary school. Let's not forget, my name is, thank you, Adebayo. Lagos, Nigeria, senior secondary. All right, thank you very much, everyone. So I just thought to also share this beautiful, you know, I call it an app. It's an education tool. It's very powerful and you can do different things with it. So we'll get right into it. Thank you, Norbert from Kenya. Thank you from Enugu, you teach biology. Okay, moving on very quickly. Why we are here. All right, so we'll move on immediately. What is project management? And like a teacher, I always like to ask my audience first. Please type in the chats, don't Google it. What do you think? What is project management? If you'd like to speak, please raise your hand. I also want to hear our voices. What do you think project management is? Don't use Google, just tell me from the top of your head. Do you have any ideas at all? What is project management? Anybody, if you want to speak, I should be able to see your hand. Yes. Nigeria, I can't see your name. Alfred, please go on. Thank you. Alfred from Nigeria, Bauchi State, yes.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay. To me, project management is the ability or the systematic steps, strategies put in line to achieve a particular goal or objective.
Thank you. Thank you. Daniel from Uganda, please go ahead. Daniel, we can't hear you. I think you unmuted yourself already. Skill to organize.
Okay. So I think project management is the idea first, the skills. Can you hear me?
Okay, go on. Yes, I can hear you now. Thank you. Your network might be a bit. All right, let's move on. Abba, and then we'll move on.
Can you hear me now?
Abba. Yes, Daniel, you can speak.
Hello?
We can hear you. Can Abba speak? All right, so I see some in the chat as well. Project management is the ability to initiate a program of activities, harness the interests of individual members to achieve a goal. Yes, project management is skillful planning and execution. It's the use of specific knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to deliver something of value. Very good. Planning and implementing a project. Fantastic. Now, what is a project? So we said what project management is. Actually, we should go from project to project management. What's a project? Anyone? Please type in the chat. That'll be easier so that network won't slow us down. What is a project? Please type your answer in the chat. What do you think a project is? Think about your work as a teacher. A program of activity aimed to achieve. Thank you, Chisom. Yes. A project is an endeavor. Thank you, Caroline. Anyone else? I like to ask before I say. All correct, by the way, there's no wrong or right answer. So more answers for what a project is. Carefully planned activities to achieve a particular goal. All right, good. Don't give me Google answers. Thank you. All right, it's a given task based on a particular area for a specific purpose or aim. Project management is to initiate a program. All right, thank you. Now let's go on to see what a project is. A project is a temporary and unique endeavor that aims to achieve a specific objective within a defined time frame, budget, and scope. Now that seems quite technical, but no, I'm sure we've all been running projects without even knowing it, okay? And just like we all said, project management is a set of skills and methodologies and enables the accomplishment of goals and objectives within existing constraints. So basically, project management is just like, how do I put it? It's like you're a manager overseeing everything that you've planned out, you know, based on your time frame, your budget, and the scope. So it's as simple as saying, I'm planning an activity in school. So you're a teacher, right? But you're planning an activity in school. Maybe it's inter-house sports, and you're the teacher in charge. What you're doing is actually project management, because you need to talk about money. You need to fix a date. You need to talk about, you know, what are the activities we're going to do, and all sorts. So invariably, as a teacher, you're doing many of these things already. I'm just trying to say this so that we understand. I'm also going to be using examples from my own practice, you know, of things that I did in the past, even before I started to, you know, even if I said I got into project management, like, you know, seriously. For example, in 2019, okay, that'll be my next slide, so I'll share that. Now, what is project management in education? We've already seen what project management is. We know what a project is, and then how can this be related to education? Let's go, and I give some examples already. So, project management in education refers to how you can apply the methodologies and skills of project management in education projects. It's as simple as that. Like many organizations, schools and educational institutions introduce new projects and have budgetary and other constraints. There are broadly two categories of projects within the education sector. One is called project-based learning, which is an approach to teaching whereby students complete projects to learn more about a given subject. And the other is a project that benefits or improves the educational institution in some way or the other. For example, constructing a new facility. I also gave another example, organizing inter-house sports and so on. Now, have we all heard about project-based learning before? Just type yes. Have you heard about project-based learning? Yes or no? Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. All right. All right. Okay. Margaret, would you like to share? You can unmute yourself. What's project-based learning? I see no, I see yes. Good. Yes, no. So it's a mixture. Margaret, if you would please tell us what's project-based learning all about? Okay. Margaret doesn't want to speak. That's fine. Bernard, would you like to tell us? Okay. Precious, please speak. Go on. Precious, you can speak. I just saw your hand up. Can you unmute yourself? Or maybe the host has disabled it. Maybe that's why they're not speaking.
Can you hear me now, Ma?
Oh, yes, I can hear you.
All right. Project-based learning is the part of learning that is strategized on a particular topic or subject for a period of time.
Thank you. Please, can you unmute Margaret? She's saying, please unmute me. She wanted to speak. Margaret, please go on. Thank you, Precious.
We like to have our hands up so that the program manager can easily note our name.
Okay, Margaret, can you raise your hand? They're trying to find you.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes. Okay, so project-based management, based on learning, is when, okay, like an example is maybe you give for an education is to give your students practicals or give them work to go and do, to go and find, and not just teaching in class, writing and, you know, that alone. You give them I don't call it project. You give them things to go and find out. Yes, to go and find out about things and then maybe do a presentation like in class.
Thank you. That's basically what it is really. And it involves a lot of things. I know a lot of us, you know, do it, but we do not know the extent to which we're doing it, okay? Just like it says here, it's an approach of teaching where students, they'll have a project to present. They'll complete a project to learn about a given subject. So most times, well, I'm a math teacher. I've never really done project-based learning, especially because math is, you know, very abstract and you need to teach, show, and all of that. So I think for subjects like social studies, science, if you're teaching a unit at the beginning of a term, you can decide to use that project as your as your assessment as opposed to an exam. You know, some schools do that, like some schools have that model in their delivery such that they will teach, and at the end of the day, it will be a project, maybe a teamwork that children will be graded on. Okay, so that's just to give us an overview of what project-based learning is all about. So that's one way in which project management is embedded in schools and in education. And the second one is when, you know, a school is working on like a major project, just like I said. So project-based learning, there's 7 elements, essential elements to project-based learning. I would not go in depth. That's why I just have this infographic to show us what it's all about. So the first thing is to come up with a challenging problem. Because we want the children to get into, you know, more deeper learning, we're not going to make a surface-based question. For example, what is science? Or no, let me not say what is science. Maybe what is the water cycle, something just basic on the basic level. The kind of question that you would give or the problem that you would give was something that would be something that is very open-ended that you want them to be able to think about. Okay. The second essential element says sustained inquiry. That means it's not something they can easily answer. It has to be something that is challenging enough to allow them to think and think. Number 3 says authenticity. That means something that is real to them, something that is related to their everyday life, okay? So if you're thinking about project-based learning, it has to be well thought out. It has to be carefully planned out. And basically, if you're a project manager, you have to plan. Everything needs to be clear, okay? So the next one is student voice. Basically, children have the opportunity to choose. So you could have a challenging problem, and you could say to the children, decide on which angle to come in from. Don't tell them what to do, basically. This is what student voice and choice means. Let the children be the ones in charge. Let them be the ones to say, okay, this is how I want to go about this problem, etc. Okay, the fifth point is reflection. After doing steps 1 to 4, students need to reflect. Okay, what have I done? Does this make sense? Does it follow the rudiments and the rubrics or whatever it is that my teacher has set? And then 6 would be critique and revision. Mind you, project-based learning is most always, in a team, because that way you want children to rub minds together. You're building problem-solving skills, creativity, and so on and so forth. And the last one is a public product, which is also a feature of project management, because at the end of the day, you're working towards a goal. Okay, so after doing 1 to 6 rather, they would present, and then the teacher would judge rubrics 1, rubrics 2, blah, 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 and then give them a score. Okay, so trust me, I haven't scratched the surface, but this is like an overview of what it is about. So, of course, you can always read more. So students are learning, mind you, they're not just doing a project, they're also learning on the way. They're finding out things by themselves. The teacher is not necessarily filling them with information. He's giving them wings to go and, fly, go and find information and so on and so forth. All right, so that's one way that project management is used in education. The second way is by using the project management phases. For example, just like in my points, it says maybe when the school is trying to introduce a new facility or an event or whatever it is. Okay, so I'll quickly share something that I did, just so that it makes sense to us and it's not something vague. So, like I said, I'm a math teacher. Most of my experience is teaching math. And in 2019, at my school at the time, I just, we usually do what we call an appraisal at the end of every year. And so I just thought, what could I even do? They would usually tell us, okay, go and think of something that would obviously improve learner outcomes and improve the school teaching and learning overall. So I just said to myself, I wasn't even the head of math at the time, because eventually I was now the head of math in that school. But I said, and I was even new at the time as well. And I said, okay, if I have an idea, I'm going to organize a math week, right? I did not know that all I was doing, everything I did at the time was literally project management, but we kept records, which is why as teachers, we need to begin to document, and we also need to begin to do more, okay? Now, I'll quickly share what we came up with. So because we're teachers and, we have sense, we came up with an action plan. So this is what it looked like. This was in 2019. It wasn't something grand, but it had literally everything. Because the first thing we did was I met with the head of school, shared my idea with her. That was usually my, initiation phase and just trying to get everything. I told her what I needed to do. We chose dates, blah, blah, blah. And I met with my other math teachers, because obviously I'm not the only math teacher in the school. So basically we came up with this action plan. Remember, it was in 2019. It was a math week. We all sat down. We looked at what we could do. Our goal was to improve learning outcomes in math. We wanted our children to love math. And we just thought, what could we do? We wanted a full week of fun. We didn't want math to just seem as something that was always difficult. So we said, why not do a math week, right? We brainstormed, had ideas. So basically, I'm just sharing this to see that, look, it's actually doable. So we did this. Trust me, I had no clue what project management was at this time, but we came up with this. And trust me, when I was trying to write my PMP, I realized I had done projects. I started to bring out all the things, and I always keep records. And like I said before now, teachers, you need to do more. Don't be stuck to your classroom and assume, oh, I'm just a class teacher. Try to do more. If your school doesn't even have opportunities like this, suggest it. So I'm giving someone an idea. You can run a math week in your school. Okay, it's going to be amazing, and you are building yourself, because trust me, we learned a lot. I was literally the one man checking everyone, checking what they were doing. They sent their quizzes to me, so it was a lot. So let me go back to my project management phases, but I wanted to share this first so that when I come back to it, you would understand. Okay, right, so moving on. Please, if I'm too fast, let me know. Talk very fast. Now, project management phases. And the beauty about project management is, look, every industry, it's applicable. Okay, so no matter the field of performance you use project management is, you will always follow these standard phases and life cycles. Very important. And each of these phases has its own set of activities and deliverables. Now, I haven't scratched the surface at all. This is just a general overview. In all these steps, have several other things under them, but this is basic. So the first thing you will need to do in any project you are trying to start or introduce, you will have the initiation phase. In the initiation phase, your goal is to define the scope. What am I doing? What's the objective? What do I need? What the requirements? So you'll meet with your stakeholders. Your stakeholders, in this case, in a school, will be your head of school, your teachers, depending on what you're doing. It could even be your students if the project is geared towards them. Then once you've initiated and once everybody's clear, then you move to planning, okay? Planning phase is all about creating a roadmap for the project. Where we were planning was when we came up with that action plan because we needed everybody to be accountable. After we did initiation, I started off the initiation with my head of school because it was an appraisal thing. It was tied to my appraisal. So I had to meet with her and my supervisor, shared my idea. They asked me, what do you need, blah, blah, blah. There was also a budget because we gave gifts to our students. I'll show you later on when we finished our deliverables and all of that. So planning phase, we identified our risks, we created a budget, we assigned all sorts of tasks and all of that. After the planning phase, then you move on to the execution. Execution is when you do the work. And there has to be somebody. You realize that when you're in your job as a teacher, somebody is always hovering over you. That person is basically, you're executing, right? That person is checking. Okay, are they doing what they're supposed to do, and so on and so forth. So when you're executing, you're basically doing what you've all planned out. It's like when you plan your lesson. When you're teaching, it is when you're executing, right? Now, after execution is monitoring and controlling, or rather, yes, after. Control phase is all about monitoring project performance and making sure that everything stays on track. This includes conducting regular status meetings, progress tracking, and reporting. During monitoring and controlling for my math week, I had already told every teacher to, create math quizzes because obviously I couldn't do everything alone. I had to team up with everyone. So teachers from year 1, year 2, year 3, all brought together questions for me to look at. So I was basically like the one checking because I had the idea. I knew what I wanted to do. They also had the idea. They bought the idea, but I needed to check. So in that time, I was monitoring, I was checking, correcting, telling them what to do, and so on and so forth. Oh, Grace said, I have used projects a lot, even in teaching poetry. Fantastic. I've asked my students to express themselves. Yes. Right. And then finally, the closure. Closure phase marks the end of the project. In this phase, you complete all final deliverables and close out any loose ends. You would also say to yourself, what did we learn? What did we learn? What went well? What didn't go well? What could we do better? And so on and so forth. If you go in depth into project management, obviously you see that there's more to all of this. Okay, so back to my own example. Like I said, I'm trying to make it real to you and see, what it's all about. After we finished the math week, we had to show evidence. And in my school, they always ask for it because, like I said, this was an appraisal issue. So we took pictures. We even posted in our newsletter at the time. It was fun. So I will share what we came up with for our article. And this is what I sent to the head teacher because I needed to get my 100% in my appraisal. So we showed them what we did. Remember, we had planned several things. We said we were going to. So this is our school, or our school stairs. Oops, sorry. Let's hear myself. This is so we put times table cards. We had like an action plan to do this. On the stairs, our aim was to make everyone love maths. Trust me, it was an amazing week. So we took pictures because everybody needed to see, and we needed to close the project. We needed to show what we had done. We took pictures, posted it, and this was timetable stairs. Then we had a math hunt. This was my year 5 class, and those are my children in basketball court. So what this was we had questions all over the basketball court, and then they will have to answer one question. It was like a loop. They'll answer one question. Once they get it correct, they'll move to the next question, so it was so much fun. This was the winning team. That's me there. That's my colleague, So evidence. And the finale was a math quiz. This was in the hall. We took, because we needed to show that we were doing what we said we were going to do, right? We took pictures, and we gave them gifts. Okay, so that's where our budget came in. And yeah, that was all. So as a teacher at the time, like I said, I didn't even know that I was using everything. It was eventually later on when I was, getting into project management that I realized that, oh, wow, teachers actually do this on the daily. Like most of your work is project management. And I did learn a lot, okay? I did learn a lot. Now, going back, I hope it's making sense, and we're seeing how, project management itself can help education. Trust me, I didn't know I was initiating, planning, executing, doing any of these things at that time, but trust me, that's what I was doing. That is what I was doing. All right. So moving on, I want to take a few questions before I move on to benefits. I've said a few things now. I've said that project management has 5 phases, very important in any industry. You must initiate, you must plan, execute, monitor and control, and you must close properly. You must deliver your project. You must show what you have said that you are going to do, and it should be accepted. It must be accepted. Is this what we agreed that you are going to do? Okay, so I want us to think as teachers now. In the chat, what are some examples of projects that you can do in schools, in your school? Now, when you say a project, doesn't necessarily have to be a building project or anything. See the example I gave, right? It could be anything. So I want us to think, what are some of the examples? Or if you've done something before that you think fits under this, please type it in the chat. I want to see, where our head is at and if we are following. What are some examples of activities or projects that you've done before or that you can do? That's question 1. Let's see. Please post your answers. Let's have it in the chat so that I can just read through very quickly. Okay, waiting. Let me read. Grace. Grace says, I have asked my students to express themselves. What makes them calm? Blah, blah, blah. Came up with very nice painting that we could end up selling. Oh, nice, fantastic. I like that. Yes. Literacy week. Fantastic. Margaret, yes, that's it. And so after I did my math week, of course, the literacy teachers also came up with theirs, and it was awesome. I established a sports academy. Beautiful. Oluwale, you need to document it. 1, remember everything you did. Write it down. You never know what you're going to be doing later on. We did paper beads making for bracelets. Fantastic. Document it. Having menstrual hygiene talk with the girls in my school. Yes. Hygiene week. Fantastic. Awesome. And when you're doing these things, make sure you are writing down. What did I do? Who was in charge of what? I plan making a mini shed made from plastic bottles with my students. Fantastic. Fruit week. Beautiful. Now, we've said all these things. I want us to now think, what are some of the skills that you would acquire if you try to plan something? Organized spelling bee, fantastic. I love that. We made cooking sticks with my learners. Yes. What are some of the skills that you would, that are embedded in all of this? Please, can we list them out? Think about it. Trust me, don't think too much. It's not that deep. If you're planning a project, what are some of the skills that you need to have? I have done a video project where we turned our topic. Fantastic. We shot the videos all around. Oh, I love this. Bernard. Nice. Teachers are just superheroes. I have done a project with my students on experiments determining porosity and water holding capacity of soil. Yes. Communication. Fantastic. Service within the school. Yes. Team management. Yes. Time management. Yes. Collaboration. Critical. Can you see? Teamwork, communication, leadership, time management. Fantastic. I established problem solving. Yes, I was coming for that. Established a JET club in my school. Yes, nice. And social gathering. Very good. Mobilization. I don't know what you mean by that, but yes, I guess. Time management and communication. Right. Projects are critical and hands-on. You get to explore talents. Yes. Critical thinking, time management. Yes. I demonstrated how magnetic attraction, like unlike pole, like and unlike poles. And as an art teacher, for my students to see a real look of a lake, they built a lake with ocean sand and different materials. Beautiful. Critical thinking, collaboration, time management. You guys have, it shows they are following. This is it. This is really why you see how project management can help a school. All these skills for you, for your learners, everything. Yes, sensitization on discrimination among students and establishing an SDG. Good, self-efficacy, I love that. Absolutely. Because once you have ownership of something, you just begin to think of, you own it, basically. Critical thinking, time management. We organize a production week by asking my students to explain stages in production from the input materials processing stage, and final outputs, economics. Thank you so much. You guys you are a fantastic audience. Beautiful creativity and self-discovery. Absolutely. Absolutely. So there are literally numerous skills that you can gain by simply just teaching, doing literally, how do I even say this now? As a teacher, basically doing projects. As you're doing the project, you yourself, you are learning, you are getting those skills. Your students are also benefiting from it at the same time. So it's a win-win for everybody. All right. So moving on. Let us then see how project management skills can help schools. We said it all. Now, the best way to get to ensure that these skills are inculcated in your students is to include some form of project management study and skills development in your school curriculum or in a school's curriculum. Of course, this is a school-wide initiative, but as teachers, you can do it on your own. It is as simple as having a theme in your classroom, not even as a school. It might not even be a school thing. You can even suggest it to your school. Every week you look at a theme, you teach it. Leadership today, problem solving tomorrow, communication today, things like that. Now, some of the ways that they will benefit from PM skills are the habit of it instills the habit of planning, scheduling, and organization. We said it all. If you put children, especially with project-based learning, if you allow children to take ownership of anything, they are going to be better off for it. It's as simple as that. Also, project management skills fosters teamwork and integration. Yes, because when children are working together, they're better. Please, can you disable annotation? Let me see if we can do that from here. Someone's writing on the screen. Okay, done. Makes them adaptable to change. Yes, trust me. Planning projects is not, I believe it's not for the faint-hearted, even though I'm just getting into it, like, seriously, I've literally been a teacher all my life. But yeah, what I mean by makes them adaptable to change, because today you could plan and say, okay, this is what we're going to do, but along the way, something happens. For example, you're planning a project, you've said your costs are going to be XYZ, and the next thing, dollar goes up, for example, and then prices have to change. You have to move on, you have to shake it off and look for a way to solve. You need to be able to be one step ahead, find a solution to it. Okay, when children are involved in projects or project management skills, they are able to think, that, okay, look, everything's not cast in stone. Something can change tomorrow and I need to be ready. So yeah, it helps them to embrace mistakes and learn from failure. Yes. So if you've done something and your teacher has critiqued it, it's not the end of the world. So if you present your project, your teacher says, oh, maybe in the review phase, you can do this better, you can do that better. It helps them, it builds them. Most of our children nowadays, resilience is zero. I'm talking from experience. So resilience is zero. A lot of them, they don't want stress. They want everything to be easy, go lucky. I need it to be sweet, to be smooth. Okay, so project management skills helps them to build resilience. Yes, embrace mistakes and learn from their failures. Okay. Now, for teachers and management, as a teacher, managing a project helps you to become efficient. Trust me. People call me class captain. And you see, the thing is, how did I know that I was going to, or how did I become interested in project management? Because I realized that, look, I've been doing this literally without anybody telling me. Even in my classroom as a teacher, I am extremely organized. Okay, so most teachers are, most teachers should be, but getting yourselves involved, with project management and trying to follow those 5 phases, you are going to be efficient. You're going to be better at time management. You literally have 1,001 skills, problem solving, critical thinking, all sorts. Okay, so better efficiency in delivering services that's for management, even for teachers, because your service as a teacher to your parents. Improved and enhanced customer satisfaction. Yes, because if things are done properly and everything is planned and everybody's accountable for something, the customers will be happy. The customers in this case are your children, your pupils and parents. Okay, improved growth and development within teams. Yes, because just like I said with my math week, everybody in my math team, like I had a lot of ideas and I was sharing resources. You can get this from there. Everyone was happy. In fact, the idea it was amazing. Trust me. And we haven't done anything like that again. I don't think we've done that again because it was beautiful. Okay, and enhanced leadership skills, obviously, because if you're in charge of something, you need to be. So even if you are someone who doesn't like to talk, you would have to, because look, you need to communicate. As project manager, you have to be able to, because you need to communicate with your stakeholders, keep everyone informed, keep everyone engaged, keep everyone happy. So you have to, for example, I was communicating with the head of school. Okay, this is what we need. When we didn't get money on time, because our school, they like to budget a lot. When we wanted to buy gifts for the winners of our math quiz. I think the head of school had to use her own money or something, but I was giving her feedback. No, we haven't gotten it. Has it been approved? Blah, blah, blah. So it's a lot. It teaches you how to multitask. Okay, so the benefits are a lot. They are a lot. So we're almost done, trust me. Next slide, we're going to talk about how PMI advocates for schools. Now, what is PMI? Who is PMI? Because this topic is focused on project management, of course, I have to speak about PMI as well. So PMI is the Project Management Institute, and they're the leading professional body for project management professionals in the world. If you want to, they also are the ones that certify you as they are the ones who have the exam, or rather who certify you as a project management professional. Okay, so they're already doing a lot of things in schools because they know how much these skills can help younger children as well, and it's very, what is it? It's very good to get them started on time. Okay, so here are some of the initiatives already ongoing currently by PMI. They have a student membership. This is for university students anyway, but something that you can also say to your secondary school students that, okay, if you want to, not necessarily even going into project management, but if you want to develop yourself better, if you want to have better skills to become a leader in the future, you can, join. This helps if you go on their website. That's why I left the website, because I can't cover everything. These are just snippets of it, right? So they have that initiative for students, right? What else? Yes, and then they have the PMI fund, education fund. This is it's like an NGO basically, and it's a no-cost project management learning resources to change the way children learn, live, and plan for the future, and magnify the power of nonprofits and non-governmental organizations in delivering their mission through the knowledge and application of project management. So I saw a resource sheet on their website. You can go there. I wasn't able to download it for whatever reason. But if you go on their website and type in, you can see it's a resource that can help you as a teacher to begin to teach these skills in your classroom. Just like I said, start to have like a theme every week. Teach one skill tomorrow, teach another skill tomorrow. Eventually, you will get through all of them, okay? Now, I'm a member of the PMI Nigeria chapter, and I'm particularly in the Social Good Initiative team. And what we basically do in that team is we're basically interested in SDG, not only SDG4, but basically trying to see how we can help. One of our last initiatives or outreaches was to an orphanage. We spoke to children about power skills, problem solving, teamwork. We just introduced ourselves. This is what project management PMI is all about. This is why we're here. And of course, we donated some items to school. We also have some other outreaches in schools, secondary schools, where we teach the kids and all of that. You can Google it, okay, if that website is not, but that's at PMI.org. Also, PMI also has specialized trainings for educators and instructors, I beg your pardon, through the Social Good Initiative groups. Yes, tied to the third one. So we also organize trainings, just like we're doing now, to, inform people or educate people about project management skills, PMI, and how this can be embedded into schools and into education in general. So that's that. And let's see, yes, finally, this quote. In my preparation, I saw this quote and I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. Now, this was said by the president and CEO of the Project Management Institute. He says, learning effective project management skills increases the likelihood that young change makers will achieve their academic, professional, and personal goals. And I agree, because it's so rich, right? It's not limited to any industry. So everybody benefits. Adults, children, and I said something now. I said resilience in our children is fading. Okay. A lot of children, well, my own experience is that they just want to loaf around. I don't know if you do this, but in your class, before you teach, do you have to lecture them for like 10 minutes? Like encourage them, you have to be serious with your work, blah, blah, blah. I know they're children, but sometimes it becomes tiring because you're literally having to do like psychology classes every lesson because most of them are now on Instagram, they're on TikTok. So there's so many things fighting for their attention. So we need to also begin to look beyond math and English because the truth is, look, soft skills are more important, right? Hard skills are more important. All these extra, things that seem as if, oh, it's not important. They're even more important than the math and English that we are always focused on, right? So I know I've said a lot, but I'll pause a bit and go back to this slide so that we can, because we're almost finishing, and see, we've added a lot, and I'm so pleased. Most of the things I would have said have been said here already. All the skills, time management, a lot. It helps the management team or itself in a school to be better equipped to handle, to manage their teams, basically, okay? So, someone said, I'm just so happy with this lesson. I've been working with adolescent girls on issues of reproductive health, strong emphasis on heredity. Right now, I'm planning a workshop. Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. So let's quickly finish. I'm going to take questions and we have a quiz at the end. So I hope you've been listening. But before my quiz, we'll do a quick recap and I want to hear us talk about what we've learned. All right, so that's my plenary. Great. So before I do my plenary, I hope what I have said, yes, a bit fast-paced, but it's straight to the point, okay? I want us to talk about what we have learned. What was the meat of this lecture? What did you get? And I want to please raise your hand so that the facilitator, the host can allow you to speak. What have you gathered from what I've said so far? How can project management help you as a teacher or the school as a whole? Anybody? Is it they raise their hands? They can speak. Let me stop sharing this. I have one more activity, and then we are good. Caroline. After Caroline will be Tamuno. All right. Can we have Caroline?
Good evening, madam.
Good evening.
I'm so grateful for this program as a whole. I thank God for enrolling in this program. Then I thank God for you as well. During the course of this lecture, I've learned that before you start teaching, just what you said, these last few times, that we should encourage them first. We have to address them, even though they are children, but they need to be addressed, need to be motivated. You have to arouse their interest before you start teaching them. And then I also learned that anything you teach at all, it is good you bring a project out of it because it's going to bring them together. It's going to, like they are now the teacher themselves because whatever they are engaging in as a project concerning a particular course, they're not going to forget it. So it's really good and great. So I'm very grateful for this and I'm going to implement that in my school. I'm a head of school. I'm going to tell my teachers when I should have meeting and implement this. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Absolutely. Thank you. Tamuna Isaac.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm Tamuna now. This session has been very impactful and practical. And I also want to state here that I love teaching math. And then this has also helped me to see the importance of practical demonstration. For instance, teaching fraction in a more realistic way when we have proper and improper fraction. I bring out this pupil and demonstrate to the class how a full human being should be. The head is the numerator, the shoulder is the over, then the denominator is the body. And so if the head is bigger than the body, it's improper. And everybody will like, yes. So now it has helped the children to know exactly what is a proper fraction and an improper fraction. But then today's training has helped me understand that project-based
learning.
Project-based learning helps to build resilience. As in, with that, it helps me to keep pressing on the child, because most children run away from math, generally. Yes, most of them. So with this practical demonstration and with the knowledge I have learned, I've gotten today, I've come to also understand that I need to keep pressing to build their confidence, and not to, though we know that maths most times is abstract, but it helps them to be more motivated. So I must come in to encourage them, motivate them with everything around to make maths very practical and interesting. Also, project management here also would help me to be efficient.
Yes.
To be efficient, and also it will enhance my leadership skills. It will also help me to multitask. You know, you think in and here, and then bring in everything for the whole class to cooperate and bring in something from what you have actually explained. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. So I'll take one more. Don't worry, I'm still going to take all of you, but I want to get to my plenary. So let me have Mirabel, then the remaining people will speak after Mirabel. Thank you. I'm reading the chat. I'm still going to read it. Emmanuel, I have how many more minutes, please? Can you respond to my message so that I'm also aware of the time?
You still have up to 30 minutes.
Fantastic. Okay. Mirabel, please go on.
Thank you very much, Madam, for giving me the floor to say a word. I first of all want to thank the IDEF Africa for this wonderful initiative. It is a very laudable initiative. I think I blessed the day I got to the link to register for this program. It has been a very wonderful session. I have learned, like a teacher, that it is good to teach children in a holistic manner. Teaching children, giving them the ability to think in a problem-solving manner. I think that is something very wonderful, because looking at the way I teach my students, I always go out a bit like out of the lesson by making them to understand, most especially when I teach them about basic ethics of a citizen, a good citizen, how a good citizen should live. A good citizen should be able to protect the environment. And that is taking a bit to geography and nature protection, by getting them to understand that the environment is to be protected. And that is why you should be a good citizen. I have to take them a bit and give them reasons why you need to protect the environment for sustainability, for that the environment should remain natural for future generations. That is how I deviate and make them to understand that when they are learning, like a few days ago, I was telling my students that you are learning not only to go and have certificates, but you are learning to be good citizens. You are learning in order to have that problem-solving approach. I thank you so much, because you have made me to understand that using a project will make them to be resilient to the problems that we are facing today, in the world that we are facing today. And also to understand that in project, we have to know about the initiative, to initiate a project, plan a project, execute the project, do monitoring and evaluation, and to have a closure. That if you have to have a good project, you need to put all these steps together. You need to put all these steps together. And I thank you very much, because this is what I will put in every project I am planning. I just wrote that I have been working with adolescent girls, mostly on reproductive health. And this time around, I'm planning to commemorate the International Day of Menstrual Hygiene. And these steps that I've learned today, I will always struggle to put them in practice. Right now, I am on project planning. Next, I will be going, I've initiated. Initiation has already been done. Now I am on planning. Next thing, which will be done on the 27th or either the 27th to commemorate the World Menstrual Health Day, which is on the 28th, will be execution. During the execution of the project, we have to do project and evaluation, monitoring and evaluation. And after
so that we can, yes, thank you. So that we can go on to our plenary. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, so let's get to our plenary. Our plenary is also an activity. And this is also another thing you can do in your classroom. This is just to see if we have listened to everything that I've said. But from what I'm hearing so far, I see that we have followed. So you need a second device. If you don't have a second device, then you have to leave Zoom, just like the way we did Mentimeter, and type in kahoot.it. If you can help me put the link, that is, I'm also going to type it here, kahoot.it, and I will show you the game pin. So what I've done with Kahoot is I've just put questions based on what I've taught, right? As a teacher now, I have to test, I have to see if you guys have understood, but I'm already getting that already. I'm getting my answer, because you need to be a reflective teacher. If people are not giving me answers that I want to hear, that means I failed you. So that's why I asked that at first, but yeah, I'm glad to hear all those answers. So Kahoot, I will share the pin now. Let me, okay. Next thing you see is a pin. So just thank you, Emmanuel, kahoot.it. You can click on that link. And we can have up to 40 because it's the free version. Don't mind them, they used to be free before, but they're doing shakara. I'm not going to pay for it. So the first 40 people, as many people as we can get, will start. So that's the game pin. Once you get in, I'll see you. The code is on the screen. And after our Kahoots, then we'll take the remaining people that want to speak. Khadija is in. Pearl, Christabel, Tamuno, Yola, Pearl, Bernard. Okay, let's go. The code is right in front of your screen, or it's in the chat right now. Someone has typed it for you. I'll wait for more people, as many people as can join before the limit. Two more, one more. Okay, I think that's it. So we're going to start. So let me just quickly explain how Kahoot works. So you need my screen. You need to get the questions from my screen and input the answers on your screen. So like now, if I had my phone, I'll first of all look at the questions from my screen and then type the answer. So the answers will be in form of the shapes. Okay, each question is 30 seconds. That's what I'm explaining. So because if we've not done it before, we have to understand how it works. So once you see the question, read the question from my screen and type the answer on your screen by typing the correct shape, by clicking on the correct shape. So we're starting. You'll see the questions. There are only 6 questions. So first question says, what's the project? So look at the shapes. Is it triangle? Is it circle, square, or diamond? And click the correct shape on your phone or whatever device you're using. Please don't put the answer in the chat if you're not playing. Okay. Right, we got 7 correct answers. Let's see who is leading. Tammy is leading. I need to find something to give the winner of this game. PM is a set of skills and dash that enables the accomplishment of goals and objectives within existing constraints. The pin is still on the screen. If you can see the screen. 1, 4, 7, 2, 2, 3, 4. Methodologies. Some people chose. Abiola has knocked off Tammy. So Abiola is leading now. This is very easy. This is a bonus question. Okay. Viola, player limit rules. Thank you for that information. So what happens during the initiation? What are we doing? Right. Prof, where did you come from? Which of these is a skill that you'll develop if you use the project management phases? All right. Final question. Viola in 3rd place. Jay in 2nd place. Well done, Prof. Good job. All right, sorry if you were not able to join. Not my fault. Sometimes your network can just act up, and those are one of the downsides of technology. Well done, everyone. And I'm sure we've learned one thing or two. Abiola, well done. Don't worry, I'll look for a gift for you. I shall find something for you. So back to Sorry, network killed you. I know it always happens. That's the thing about Kahoots. Okay, so please celebrate me. Well done, Olotu. I didn't see you on my chat. So this is also something you can do in your class. Okay, network. I know network is always. In fact, some children will start crying when we were online. Problem. The ones that will not get to do will start crying. We'll be begging. It's not my fault. Sometimes network happens. Okay, so but it's always interesting to use Kahoot for your plenary. That way you are sure that you will, caught the attention of your learners. Well, my questions were very short, but because most of these things are talking points, for teachers, I don't want to be giving us simple questions. You missed 2 questions, but you were 8. Well done. All right, so I will now take people who want to share. That's the end of our very straightforward presentation, effective project management in education. And if you want to learn how to use Kahoot as a teacher, you have to go to create Kahoot. So it used to be very free. Now they're trying to charge us, but you can still use the free version. I use the free version, typed in my questions, okay? And Google is always your friend as a teacher. Okay, so Tamino has spoken, right? So lower your hand. Mirabel has also spoken. So more people that want to speak, please go on. But you got it at the, oh, sorry, you found it. Is it that you found it easy or you didn't find it easy? Okay, please, can we have Tubosu, Ola Tubosu? Still have time, so we can also take questions. And I'll share how you can find me on social media also. You can't hear me. Please, can you hear me? It's just me that is speaking. If you can hear me, please type yes. Someone says I can't hear you.
Hear you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Please, can we unmute Olatubosun? He wants to speak. Thank you.
Yes,
Still here.
he should unmute himself now.
Thank you. Thank you. Is Olatubosun with us?
Or we go to another person?
Okay. Rashid. And Danladi.
Danladi and Rashid, their mics are not activated. There's
okay, so that means they can't even hear us. Can we have Daniel?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for the presentation. I must say I learned a lot, and I am sure I can apply this in my classroom teaching to make it a better way of learning for my children. So you see, in Uganda, currently they have rolled out a competency-based learning, a curriculum, and it has been running now for 2 years, and they have incorporated the aspect of projects as part of the disciplines, the subject. So I want to admit that this workshop actually helped me to add on my knowledge as I roll out the CBC program as part of the project. Then 2, you see, project-based learning puts the learners at the center of the learning process.
Exactly.
I mean,
like that
it gives them the ability to explore and learn on their own. So as educators, we need to take this as an advantage for us to give more time and space for our learners to explore things on their own. That would make them grasp the knowledge, but also implement what they have learned from that. So that's what I can share. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Absolutely, it does. It actually puts them at the center of learning, and that's where you want to get, that's the highest level of learning, right? Thank you. Sorry, all these poor network people, sorry. I'll take the questions in the chat after people have spoken. So now, can we have, Nafi, Salis. Rashid seems to have his mic back now. If you want to speak, I think we'll have to unmute you after. Nafi. Nafi's not ready. Can we have Norbert from Kenya?
Thank you very much. This is Norbert from Kenya, and I'm very, very glad to be here today. The session has been so wonderful. In Kenya, the CBC competency-based curriculum is now 7 years old, and the project part of it is quite amazing. And how I wished that we could have just concentrated on the project bit of it, just to ensure that we see what these learners do. But you find that when it comes to the assessment, especially the summative one, they go more on the writing. They base their assessment on the writing more than the project. So you find some learners who really do well on the project part are disadvantaged when now grading is done in terms of the written work. Otherwise, they are going on well, and I really appreciate this kind of program. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Norbert. Thank you. Nafi, it's your turn.
Yes, good evening, ma.
Good evening.
How is your work going, ma?
Thank you.
Thank you, the work. I enjoyed the session. May God bless you greatly. Project-based learning makes the learners adaptable to changes and finding solutions to a problem. And it helps them to cooperate and work together as a team, finding solutions. So I've learned a lot.
Thank you. And I hope you're going to implement. That's very important. I hear everyone saying, I learned, so I'm hoping you implement, even though I've heard people say they're going to implement as well. Thank you. Please implement. Okay. Rashid, do you want to speak? Your hand is up. If not, we can have Margaret. I don't know if Rashid is speaking. Can we unmute Margaret?
All
right, Margaret, please go on.
Okay, so thank you so much, Ms. Sheung.
Thank you.
Okay, so I just want to ask, with the activity on Kahoot. For my school, once we have a parent conference, when we have our parents conference, like when the children do activities, their assessments. So during the conference, we have like a hard copy guide to show the parents, okay, this is how your child has been doing. This is where the child is weak. This is what you need to work on. So with this app now, is a very fantastic one. I love it. I'm going to introduce it to my school because we've not used it before. So what I want to ask is, how do we have like a record? How do we have details? How do we have record? I see that we can use it for assessment, for quizzes, in like maybe their family assessments. Okay, so how do we, does it grade them? Okay, so does it keep their grade to show the parents, okay, this is how your child is doing? Yeah.
So that's also very dicey, because you can only use it for assessment if each child has a device. So like in my school, we used to have, even though network, and then those things became outdated, each child used to have like a tab. We call them learn pads, but we never used them for assessment because technology can fail. Now Kahoot has, started upgrading. They're having solutions for schools and so on and so forth. So yes, you will be able to see. It's like quizzes too. Quizzes has places for where you can see the results and all of that, but you would have to probably pay and sign up. So for the free version, I just even noticed today that they've limited it. Before it used to be 100 participants that could join. Now they've reduced it to 40. So the only thing with Kahoot is you might not want to use it for that kind of, what word is it now? Like a serious thing. So we would use Kahoot more for, after your lessons, revision week, that kind of thing. There are other solutions that you probably would use for when you want to parents to see your children's results or whatever. For example, Edverse. I don't know if you've heard of Edverse. They have a solution, because I feel like Kahoot is a bit, because of network, Edverse is a better solution because they have their own, they store it somewhere in the cloud where you can always go to. Do you understand? You get my point? So I don't know if I would advise Kahoot for that kind of, for an assessment thing like that. Okay, so let me quickly, does that make sense, Margaret? I think they muted you. But let me quickly go to the chat. I saw a question I wanted to address before my time runs.
So please, before you attend to the question on the chat, we will also like a question from one of our
What do you say?
There's a question from one of our YouTube participants, which we also like.
Oh, fantastic. Please, can we have that?
That's from Banjo Isaac. How do we get students more interested in learning, considering the various distractions, phone, internet, challenges from home? So
I didn't hear the last part of that. How do we get them interested in learning, considering the distractions of what?
How do we get a student interested in learning?
That's the question. I thought there was something else.
Various distractions, e.g., phones, internet, and challenges from home.
That's a very valid question. It also depends on the class. So I used to teach primary school. So I'm no longer in core classroom because we're trying to transition to project management. But so recently, up until last year, because we had a steady decline after COVID, because my school even continued to learn online. In fact, there was no break from 2020 up until when we were asked to go back. We were steady learning, but we were fighting with a lot of distractions. And the only thing that I saw changed was we introduced mental health, was it mental health week? Anyway, the idea of it was where we were just always sending them things to help motivate them, because it became even harder to get them to concentrate. So every day the head of school sent a video, motivate them, encourage them, blah, 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 talk about mindset. So the only way to get children to engage with their learning is to continue to speak to them, and there's no other way. Eventually, the good part is that they hear you. One day it will just click. Have you noticed that, your children might be thinking, oh, this teacher is so mean. Then when they're leaving your class, they'll write a note to you. Oh, thank you so much for all the things you used to say to us. They hear you, right? One day it will make sense. So I think you just need to find a way. Understand your learners. Obviously, you need to know your learners to be able to know what works for them. My own learners, because I've understood them, I know that a lot of talking helped. So just talking to them, they'll say to me, thank you so much for telling, because maybe they don't hear it at home. I just encourage them. This life is yours. You're not doing this for anybody. You're doing it for yourself. It's not for your parents. You have to get that gift sometimes, Organize yourself, get a timetable. Once you get home, plan, you just have to, because children, they're like sponges. They absorb, they hear you. You need to guide them. Don't just leave them. Like I said, also, it depends on the class. For secondary school children, I know it might be a bit more difficult, but those ones benefit even the more from understanding. You need to ask those ones questions so that they can tell you where they need help and support. So getting to know your children is one of the best ways. Relationships, forming relationships, and knowing how to, in fact, even ask them and say to them, how can I help you? How do you think you can, these distractions can be curbed, and so on and so forth. So I think that's how I'll say it. Keep talking, form relationships, form bonds with them, understand your children, and continue to motivate and support them. That's it. Any other questions?
That's all on YouTube for now, except for comments. So we can handle the one.
All right. Someone said, thank you, Maya. Thank you. Yes. Let's go church. Someone's talking about battery. Is how can I undergo the project management training for my personal development? So the first place you can start is by going to pmi.org, reading up about project management. So you need to read up, right? It's very good to be interested, but you need to read up to understand what you're getting involved in. pmi.org is one place. You can also try the Google Coursera project management course. You can do it for free if you apply for financing. I'm typing that now, Google Coursera project management course, just to expand your view about project management and all of that. But PMI.org has limitless information. So that's the person who was asking me about, let me see your name. Yes, Kahoot is good for primary students. Quizzes, yes, someone said quizzes, fantastic, it's your preference. Quizzes can be embedded with Google Classroom, absolutely, yes. Yeah, that was for Akingba. I can't really see your name. I hope I answered your question. Any other questions before we leave? So I'm on social media as SDG. It's also available on Allison. Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Bill Kiss. SDG on LinkedIn, SDG on Instagram, SDG on Facebook. Find me.
So we still have some hands up. I assume they have a
okay.
question.
Please go on. I was asking for Olatubo, so he didn't speak. So Mark, these hands just came up. Please, can you just one after the other? Mark, Tashi, everyone that wants to speak. Please make it short so that some people are complaining of low battery, so we don't overshoot our time. I like to keep to time. That's why I always make my presentations straight to the point.
So, Mark, you can unmute your mic. We are going to have everyone at once, then she's going to respond to each and everyone. And this session is indeed a prompt session, because from next week is, I think the next phase of the project is the SDG activation, which we are all going to embark on, linking these projects, these activities, which we've already listed, to a primary goal, if not maybe one or two. And that's what we are going to be doing for the next 2 to 3 weeks. And we are all going to do a report on that. More information is line to that from the communications team. So let's have a question. And though there is still a question someone to ask, and maybe once we have those who are already raising their hand. Okay, we can have Tashi from Zamfara State. Please unmute your mic and ask a question.
Tashi, you are now able to unmute your mic, I think. I think everybody to Mark, you can unmute yourself now. Yes, Tashi is speaking.
Good evening. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you for the wonderful session. It's thought-provoking. It's giving me more ideas on what to do. I'm a serving corps member posted to school to teach, and I have this in mind, but I don't know it's meant for me and has really shaped me and has helped me. Today's lesson has helped me to build more flesh into the project I intend to do. I intend to teach young primary school pupil and students on climate change. And the project I want to do is to teach them how what climate change is all about, and to teach them simple mitigation and adaptation method and strategies to be able to solve this climate change problem in their communities locally. And one of the we intend to address is plastic pollution. So we get plastic waste like plastic bottles so that they'll be able to make beautiful items and put it in their school library, put it in their classrooms, and even in their homes, they can use it. So my question is on reaching out to organizations to partner with them to do this project. Like, I really have difficulty because some of them are advising that I go as an NGO, but the NYC stuff supports that a core member is encouraged to do a community development project in the community. It's being posted to. I don't know how to go about it. So I say, I feel like
yeah, so you have to have a clear plan. You probably need to get a letter from NYSC. So you need to also document everything you want to do. So the way you said it to me, you need to write it down. So that wherever you go to, you need to shoot your shot. Any organization that you know, I really don't know which organizations you can go to, but you need to have what you have at the back of your mind written down clearly. This is the objective, this is what I'm trying to do. A lot of organizations love to support these things. They can use it for their CRS or CSR programs. So you need to, first of all, have a proposal at hand. Do you understand? Such that anybody that reads it understands what you want to do. It's a fantastic idea, but you need to be able to sell it to them. Do you understand? So you would have to do that background work yourself, put it down in writing, and then begin to look for where you can go to. Do you understand? So the only way to go about it is by having your value on hand, basically what you want to say, what the objective of your project is. How do you get support? What do you need? Be clear about what it is, and also search within your network. Somebody might know somebody to introduce you to whoever, and that's it. Take it from there. So yeah, it's a fantastic idea, but you have to set the ball rolling, put it into writing, have it like a proposal written down so that you can now share. You can even put it as a PDF so you can share it online too. Send it to your friends, they can share with whoever they know. That's it, that's how to start. No, it doesn't have to be anything, you don't have to spend too much money. Just look for somewhere in that, any prominent place you know in Zamfara, wherever, start from there. Yeah, that's what I would advise.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, Mark. Mark is not talking. Beth, can you go on? From Uganda, Beth from Uganda. Okay, I don't know if they're there. Please, if you're there, you can speak. Beth, Mark, that's from Bosun. Richard, please go on. I think the others are now sleeping.
Good evening, everyone.
Okay.
Hello, good evening.
Okay, Beth.
Good evening.
Yes.
Thank you, facilitator. It has been a mind-blowing section with you. I've been in some projects, and you have to document, you have to hunt sponsorship and all of that. But I think for many of us here, it's very important to first establish that we have to be passionate. From our community chats and all of that, a lot of teachers are after the grant, and I'm afraid it seems as if people are in this just for the grant and for the money. The first thing that drives you is passion, that you want to actually see real community change. Then in that case, if the grant doesn't come at the end of the day, you don't get heartbroken, because at the end of the day, you would have created the kind of change that gives you joy, even if nothing comes out of it, even without a recognition. So I just wanted to add that so that we have it clear, because many of us will likely get heartbroken at the end of 1 year, 2 years of running a project and nobody says hello. It's possible. You may be doing the right project, making the right impact, and no organization will recognize that. Sometimes it takes 5 years. For others, it's luck. For others, it's connection. But the most important thing is if it's done out of a sincere passion to see your community move forward, make progress, then it wouldn't matter at the end of the day if anybody comes giving you a plaque or a cash. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Richard. But you see, even with the grants, if you get a grant from an organization that is serious about it, you need to show what you've done. So people, I know I get your point, but if you're looking for a grant from an organization, you need to be able to show what you've done. If you can't show what you've done, I don't think they even give you all the money up front. And besides, there's so many things you can do without looking for grants, with resources available to you. But that's something we need to think about. Thank you for that. Richard?
Okay.
I think we have all the questions. Okay, Beth, please go on.
Yeah, I'm on. Thank you for the opportunity. I hope I'm clear.
Thank you. Yes,
yeah.
I hear you.
Thank you for the apt presentation, and I love the program from Uganda. It is a life changer to an individual and a community changer. I love the program. My question goes to Emmanuel, and actually not a question, but a concern. In Uganda, we are on holiday until 29th of this month, May. That's when schools will resume. But then we have to do the activation. We have to do the activation in 2 to 3 weeks from now. I don't know how you're going to fit us into the program of activation, and our students are on holiday. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm not quite clear. Is that question, Emmanuel, maybe that question was for you? What do you mean by activation?
That's for Emmanuel, yes.
Okay.
It's for Emmanuel, okay.
All right. So I see a question here. My question is that every project has its life cycle. So is this life cycle the same with Teach4SDG project life cycle? So the project management phases they're very clear: initiation, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closure. So I'm not sure what you mean by, is it the same as Teach4SDG? You have to pass about that.
That's for Cabet. I missed the second part of your the last part of your question. But however, I know you have a concern. You can reach out to us. You can. then it will be attended to properly. And thanks for that concern. Then there is also a question that how can we use, how can project management help to initiate and sustain SDG clubs in our respective school, most especially with just about to start one?
The same way, basically all we've just said. You're trying to start an SDG club. What's the aim of your SDG club? What are the requirements? What do you need? Initiate your project. It's the same thing, literally. Those 5 phases, as simple as they seem, it has a lot. If you just Google it, you will find a lot. Do you understand? It's the same thing. You still have to do the same thing. You need to initiate. It's a club you're setting up, right? So you need to initiate it. What's the aim? What's the objective? Then you plan. So you can't do it alone, right? If you're starting something, you need to get a team together. This team can be your fellow teachers or whoever, your head of school, depending on where you're starting it. So you still have to, what we're saying is that now you need to do this thing with more, what's the right word now? I don't know if it's to say seriousness, but you have to basically now start documenting these things. What's the first thing you need to do? How much am I needing? What do I need to spend? When are we starting? When, what's the duration? And so on and so forth. Like I said, obviously we cannot cover everything here. That's why I've just said, go on pmi.org to also read. Even if you just Google now, how can I apply PMI, the phases to XYZ? And I hope we are all utilizing ChatGPT. We shouldn't allow the world to leave us behind. You can literally ask it any question and it will give you an answer. Okay, so I hope that answered that question. The same way you plan it, go on to your initiate, plan, execute, monitor and control, and close it out. That's it. So thank you so much, everyone. If there's no more question, I think we are done. If you'd like to reach me, I just gave my social media pages. It's SDG everywhere. If you search for SDG, you probably will find me on Instagram, find me on Facebook, find me on LinkedIn. I can give my email, it's shdg@gmail.com. And I will be ready to answer any questions that I can. Let me type it there, Gmail. So if you follow me, I probably will find you on social media as well. Yes, that's it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mercy. Thank you. I'm glad. I'm happy. I brought my teacher game on.
Amazing. So what do you say to our facilitator today? And we can all use the comment section to appreciate. Yeah, thank you, Nobet from Kenya. We can see different comments. Thank you very much for this insightful session. We sincerely appreciate the knowledge which you've shared this evening and the technicalities and application of project management in line to education system. Thank you. And on behalf of the leadership of ADEV Africa, we so much appreciate your presence. Your schedule is, and we also appreciate the leadership of PMI Nigeria for always showing support and for the great impact they are making, not just in Nigeria alone, and also in other countries. And we believe this is going to be sustained. This relationship is going to be sustained to achieving a better future for all, and most especially the future generation. Thank you so much, dear facilitator. We so much appreciate this. Our link is also going to be shared with participants on YouTube, and the communication managers are also here to share it on the community, so we can get to connect with her some other time and also to engage with her. And definitely we know that it's going to bring a fruitful ending to each and everyone. Once again, we say a big thank you and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Yeah, dear educators, I believe it's been a great moment and learning series indeed, all the way from week 1 to week 6, starting from the evolution and concept of sustainable development to education for sustainable development, and from that to climate change, forest and biodiversity, to green economy and environmental sustainability. I think yesterday we had innovation and technology for education and curriculum development. And today we are ending with effective project management for educational development. It's been an awesome moment, and I believe it's been a great value for time, for the resources, and also, yeah, it's been a great session indeed. And myself that I'm facilitating this session, it's been amazing all the way, connecting with different educators, and our passion and our resilience as well. It's really motivating. I would believe that this is going to be of greater impact. And when one of the first educators was talking earlier, she was just saying the objective 3 of this project, which is to promote critical thinking, problem-solving skills, and global citizenship among educators and students through the SDG-related trainings. And we are so glad that this has been so impactful in each and everyone's life. We believe that this is going to be also be a resultant effect to the students, because now for this phase 2 is for us to focus more on the students and see how it can be of great benefit and make good use of it. However, there are some basic information which I would also like to share before we end today's series. And thank you to our colleague from Uganda that just shared their updates regarding their own academic calendar. I know for those who are in Nigeria, we are all in session, and we hope that this term is definitely the SDG activation all the way, and we are going to engage the students. And even in our teachings, no matter the topic which you are teaching, we just have to bring it in, and not just for the science student alone, because I remember someone was saying this SDG of a thing is for the science. No, it's not just for the science student alone. Achieving a sustainable future for all, it concerns even the social sciences, the art student, across all the disciplines, both in and also the primary school level. It's very good we catch them young and see how we can make that impact so that they can be cautious about protecting the nature and also the Mother Earth. And once again, I would just like to reiterate this, that for the SDG activation, we are going to be running this till that should be the final day of this month, starting from 15th of May to 31st of May. And at the end of it, that's by 4th of June, we hope to, there is going to be a report submission. I think that should be 4th of June. We should have a report submission from each and every educators. The template, it's just a page template which will be shared with us to know the progress with most especially not just the student alone, starting from ourselves as educators and what has really changed, what impact have we been able to make. And just like the facilitator earlier said the other time, that it's very important we document each and every project we do. And these days, sometimes we jump on projects, and when we see the project is well successful, we don't bother to think about even documenting the story, because like I mentioned yesterday, that in as much as you have a very good report of your project, you have a very good report of your innovation, you can rest assured that you have opportunities to maybe funding from other top organizations and other government agencies. And after that, we are going to be having the impact evaluation, and definitely we now convert back 9th of June for the graduation is going to be virtual as well, for us to get to know each other. However, the communities which has been created is for us to get to connect with each other. I know there are some states that's just like 3, while we have some states that are like 40. Please, let's try as much as possible to engage with each other, not just virtually, physically. We can get to meet each other, and these are ways whereby we get to strengthen our network and see how we can be of great help and great benefits, for humanity. I don't know, definitely it's been a long series of training, and also for the self-paced courses, yes, the self-paced courses is still there for us to keep up to, and it's very important for us to ensure that we enroll on these courses. It's for our own personal growth. Yes, I can assure you, even myself, I'm enrolling on some of those courses, and yeah, it's going to be of great benefit for us and also the younger generation. I think those are the basic information I'm directed to share with us. I don't know if there are any questions or any area of concern. Then, sorry, there's a placard design that will also be shared over the weekend. This we can do later next week or maybe in 2 weeks' time, but that should be before the end of the SDG activation. It's a placard design in form of I Teach for SDGs, which we are meant to use, and we can print from our end and take a picture with it. And you can even tag different organizations in line to SDGs. Let them know that you are also an SDG enthusiast and you are making impact in line to achieving the 2030 agenda. So we are going to share this via email. We also share this on the LinkedIn community, on the WhatsApp community for each and every one. You can take a portrait picture or you can take any form of picture with it, and you also submit the picture back to us. Then you can as well share it on your social media platforms. Let them know that you stand for the SDGs, as we are very close to halfway to achieving the 2030 agenda. I guess those of us that have our hands up, okay, you can just, if you don't have a question, you can lower your hand, or if you have a question, you can just unmute your mic and speak. Nobet, can you please unmute your mic and speak?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Emmanuel. Just a quick one. The slides or the notes that we normally learn sometimes take long to be uploaded in the drive. Like, for example, for the yesterday one, I've checked, it's still not there. So I hope you are working on it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nubet, for that great observation, and sincere apologies. We have that delay from the facilitator, and she couldn't upload it because so immediately she finished her session, she embarked on a journey, and all through, initially, we are supposed to have our session today and project management today, but she's going to be on air all through, and definitely she won't have access to network. But as soon as she lands to our destination, I'm very sure that we are going to have the presentation slides, and also the one for today. We are also going to have those slides, and the link is there forever for us to get these resources. In case you miss it, that's why we are not sending it on WhatsApp, because sometimes WhatsApp chat might clear and you might lose all your documents. But however, that link, it's there for us. You can keep the link anywhere, you can store it anywhere. So it's always there for you to go back to your Google Drive and download those resources. Okay, Mr. Joshua, you can unmute your mic and speak. Hello, Mr. Joshua. Okay, in case there is any other area of concern, we'd just like to share on the WhatsApp community, and those of us on YouTube too. All these are well noted. I won't like to take too longer. Okay. There's a question. I'm reading a question. My question goes like this: in the area or the school which I want to carry out my project based on climate, the students have not been in school for like 2 good years now. How can I go about it? Wow. Okay, please, we'd like to follow up with you in this regards and attend to you. Kindly check for the Google link, the Google Drive link. It's going to be reshared as soon as we are done. And also the evaluation form has been sent. Please, let's fill it. Please, let's give our beyond the attendance. We need those evaluation. And these are things that help us to also get better in our program structure. We are very, very concerned about that, and we appreciate each and the organization appreciate each and every feedbacks that we've been getting from the inception of this project. So for our brother that mentioned that the students have not been in session for like 2 years, please, you can reach out. We'll see how we can. There are alternatives for you to get to engage the young teenagers and see how you can also stand for their SDGs in your community. Thank you and have a wonderful weekend. So the link is going to be resent. I'm trying to check the chat now to see the questions that are being asked. That's a question from Marabe. The link is going to be shared shortly as soon as we end today's session. The communication manager is already on that, and every other information that we need, we're also going to have it. Okay, thank you, and have a wonderful weekend. I would also like I will share my my profile for each and everyone that wants to connect with me on social media, and also we can always get to engage with each other across the state and see how you can. I know that someone has been reaching out on how they really want to implement their SDGs in their schools. We can always reach out and we'll see how we can help to foster this activity. Have a wonderful and fulfilling weekend, everyone.